You can tune either with the remote unit from your easy chair or use the push-button panel in the cabinet.
Hey, what's up guys, Jesse Petrini here. So, sorry it took me so long to start making more videos. The past month and a half has just been super busy for me. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about the Connecticut video. And this was probably the biggest project I've ever worked on. But I wanted to go through the whole process of like the beginning stages to end stages. It's probably gonna be a multi-part video, but I would definitely stay and watch because there's so much that went into making it. As you can see, the timeline is just crazy. So the first thing I want to talk about is the process of getting to why I wanted to make this video. And I realized in Connecticut there wasn't much of a travel videographer vibe going around. It's all out in like LA area because everything out there is so cool looking. But Connecticut's more of an afterthought when it comes to beautiful places to go visit or just really cool scenes, nature, everything like that. What I wanted to do was prove to everyone that it's pretty easy to make something look really cool. You just have to shoot it the right way and edit it to a really cool song or just edit it with a bunch of cool effects, etc. So the start of me wanting to make this video was right after I quit my job in May and went videographer full time. I was like, I want to make this video because it'll make me stand out from the rest and no one's ever done it in Connecticut, so it'd be very easy. There are, like, I've gone to like the Visit CT websites and they have like the informational boring videos on everywhere around Connecticut. It's a lot of the same spots that are in my video, but it's like the informational of what the spot is and then to the next spot and to the next spot. There's nothing really cool or creative about it. So I wanted to be the first person to do that, and it also would be like almost a marketing stunt just to market my stuff out there and try to get it to go viral so everyone can see it. I'll get a sip of coffee. I started filming this video in, I want to say June, right when I finished up with Travelers, and a lot of people don't know it took the entire summer to film because there's just so much time involved with going to each location. And most locations that are like really cool in Connecticut, they're in the corners, so it's around 2 hours each way, which is just like not ideal. So the struggle was kind of finding a map of what places I can stop along the way that are cool and would make good content. So it was just mapping out different locations, and I mean, I would only have time to do like one adventure a week, so it would just be getting as much as I could, and then I actually didn't even look at any of the footage until I started editing in September. And I know why I did it. I just didn't want to go back to each location after going through it and being like, wow, I really wish I had something like this and put that there. And I knew I would have done that, so I would have been going back to every location and it just would have been a mess and just take up way too much time and too much gas. So like I said, this is probably going to be a multi-part video. The first video is going to be all of the beginning stuff up until the drop, and then the second part is going to be the whole drop with all of the hyperlapses and everything going on. So depending on what you want to learn, I feel like there's a lot of good content to be learned in the first part because that's going to be more of a filming style and how to creatively capture your viewers' attention throughout the entire thing, because my intro is 2 minutes long, which normally you only want to make a video that's 1 minute long, and then the drop is 2 minutes long by itself. So the fact that you can make a 4-minute video that can keep someone watching the entire time, that's a really hard feat to do. So you want to learn different styles to make people interested the entire time, and I'll go through each of those one by one. So yeah, let's just get to it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to go over is just my quick little intro and what went behind it and why I styled it the way I did. So let me just zoom in right here. What I did was this little Connecticut sequence right here. I watched a video about New York, so it's going to have a tough time rendering just because the project's so big. But so I watched this video about New York and they had this really fast intro that it just sucked me right in. And I wanted to do around the same thing for this video, where it just pulls you right in. You're like, wow, what the hell just went on? I'm gonna watch this. And that's when I go right into the first sequence, which is that shot. And you're already like, okay, well, my didn't blink through that entire thing, so I'm just gonna keep watching. I don't know why people do that, but it's just once you catch their attention, you got it for like another 15 seconds, and then it's up to you to play out the rest of your shots for those 15 seconds to keep them interested. So getting into, alright, so we'll go back to that intro. So all I did for this shot was, it's actually just 3 shots, and we have the title, farm shot right there, stacked on top of that is the city shot, and stacked on top of that is the lake shot. So going from here, I mean, all it was just masking each one and then positioning it so it's moving them back and forth. I just masked it, moved it so it looked uniform, and that's the first shot. So you mask it, make it look uniform, and then all I did was a zoom effect, which I'll talk about in another video. So it just zooms right in, and that zooms into these 3 sequences of shots. So this was where I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna make it look as crazy as I possibly can, just to make it look interesting. So that goes to a time lapse on top of a cliff, and then right into, that was actually a church. And what I did there was, I've seen people do these cool bokeh effects of just like crazy lights like that, and it's just like kind of a whip almost, and you just whip the camera around, and then I just have a zoom in and zoom out of that entire thing. Then that goes into the book shot of the flapping the pages. I actually got this idea from a Beautiful Destinations video, and just goes right into that, smacks right into sand reversing. I don't know, it looks cool. Next we have our main beginning of the video, and it looks very dark on here, but so we have the main beginning of the video, and what I wanted this to be is just a lot of sound design, a lot of just nature sounds that would make you feel like you're actually there. It makes the experience way more enjoyable and will make them watch it longer. I have just these first 4 shots, and then a good technique to start using for a lot of videographers is speed ramping. So what that is as you can see right around here, I have speed ramp. Pretty much what you do is you right click on the FX, time remapping, speed. So this is already a nested sequence, so I already speed ramped it, and then I nested it so I could put warp stabilizer on it so it was smooth and speed ramped. So pretty much what you do is you push control and then click somewhere, and then you can pull up the speed like so, and then you can drag it out so it goes from like 200% speed back to regular speed, and see how it makes that little effect. Just kind of zoom, goes quick and then zooms out. But so I already did that on that clip. So what's happening is it kind of speeds up right into the next shot, which is already sped up, and then it slows down, so it just makes a smooth transition right into the next shot. And then just let it roll. So all that was a speed ramp. So that was speed ramp into speed ramp, slow-mo, and then reverse speed ramp out into the next shot. So you know, like, it has that really nice just push effect. And then the only other way to help sell that effect is a sound effect. So what I have is a sound effect, that little phew, and what that was, I think that was actual natural sound, and I just sped it up, and it luckily just perfectly sounded right, and then it went right into the next shot. A lot of things like sound design, I'll keep my natural sound audio just in case on the first timeline, and I'll either mute all that when I'm just going through the footage, and then I'll unmute it after I'm done with my full rough cut, and then once I'm done with the rough cut, I'll unmute it and see what sounds sound right, and whatever ones don't sound right, I'll delete or replace with newer sounds. So a lot of it's just getting lucky and then hoping that it comes out good enough. But I have, so part of the song that I used was a rip where it had a lot of sound effects already in it. So I used that combined with my own, and that's where there's like all that little, that ting, like, sing. Let's see. Right there, that little ring. Yeah. So that's a cool Twitch transition sound effect that you could use for anything, but it works really well for speed ramping. The ring gets louder over time, so you can easily just build it up at the speed, and then right when the ring hits, that's when you switch to the next clip, and you go from there. So, going through it, shots of boats, random waters, more little speed ramps. And so what I wanted to do was make it so up until this point you were very interested, and that's 40 seconds in. Normally this is like where someone puts a drop in their video. So 40 seconds in, you have to be doing a lot of stuff just to capture the person's attention to make them want to watch the entire thing. So what I tried to do every 15 seconds of this video was try to put a new effect or something cool that would make you like reset the timer in your brain of how much is left that you can watch before you get bored. So the first 10 seconds was the intro, and that was like, all right, interested, now I'm gonna watch another 15 seconds. Then we get into this nice subtle stuff. We get up to second like 20, and that's when all the speed ramps start. So the speed ramps are already just like, all right, cool, like this is really smooth, the sound is awesome, and I'm gonna watch another 15 seconds. So getting through all the speed ramps, and I think the flag shot is something really cool that captures the attention and will make you want to keep watching. So that kind of resets it too. Then we have the little river shot with some more speed ramps. Maybe we'll call that another reset. We have the seagulls. And then we have the water shot. So next is all of the drone footage. So now it's like, all right, cool, there's a different perspective that I can see everything from, because he hasn't done anything drone except for the intro. So now the drone's back and it looks cool. So I go from drone footage back to regular footage of just, yeah, I guess the camera, and then back to more drone footage. There's nothing really spectacular about it besides that it's a drone. And then right here, so around from the drone footage to here, that was around 15 seconds. And then I do this cool zoom effect, which I did in After Effects to add that motion blur. So I zoom into the waterfall, and all that was just me walking down a trail. And I wasn't being steady, I was just doing my natural walking and just holding the camera. So I walked through the trail, and then I sped it up in After Effects, and then I added a motion blur effect to where it just made everything as it sped up just look crazy and like zoomed in. So it just makes that really cool zoom effect, and then it transitions right into the next waterfall, which is cool. And then I reverse out of it into that. So it's just another way to reset, and now we're at 1 minute. So after that, back to some cool drone shots. This is one of my favorite ones, Castle Craig. So just little things like that, and making sure the shots are perfectly staged. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, so this is beach shot, and this kicks into when the audio drops. There's my girlfriend having her special guest appearance. So now that the audio is started, it already makes you be like, all right, so now it's like a new video almost. So reset that 15-second timer and see what's next. So now we have the Iwo Jima shots, which I really wanted to put in just because I knew the demographic of this video would be hitting a little bit some of the older generation, and them seeing a shot like this would really make them feel proud of like the state they live in. And that's the main goal of the video, was to just make people from Connecticut feel proud that they live in Connecticut. So I got into this stuff, and it's cool because like everyone knows what Iwo Jima is. So we got into the castle shots. Now we're just doing more speed ramps. And then Seaport. So all I'm doing is just kind of dragging out the time to when the drop starts. So right here is when everything, I would say that section right there was probably the most boring of it, but you already are this deep into the video, so I think human's brain would be like, all right, well, if I'm this deep in, I'm just gonna watch the whole thing. So then that's where this whole, I don't even know what these are called, just the old windmill type things. And that's when I speed ramp this into the drone shot, and I think this is a really cool just sequence. It like kicks it out, And then we have all of my night shots, which were kind of hard to take, especially with a drone because it gets so grainy. So we have the night shots, and then that goes into these really cool. So these, I was just going for it. I didn't know what it would come out to look like when I would do like these cool pull shots with the camera. So I did 4 of them, and then the first one I did was this one, and I was like, wow, that looks sick. So then I kept doing those, and it created this sequence of just speed ramps, just making it look cool. The first one's definitely the coolest out of the bunch, and then this sequence of going underwater, this was actually the first thing that popped into my head of what I wanted to do with this video, was dive into the water, right into the beluga whale, because everyone loves the beluga whales in the Mystic Seaport, or aquarium. So we dive right in, make the audio kind of submerged so you can't, it just sounds like it's underwater. I also have an underwater sound effect of like the bubbles, and I don't know if you can hear it, but there's that whale sound. Yeah. So I have the bubbles, the whale sound, and then just jellyfish. Looks cool. For some reason this media is offline. This is just when the camera's behind me, panning in on the cool part. Sick. So with this effect, I'll do a separate tutorial on how I did it. It's really simple. I did it in After Effects. The intro and everything about it was pretty much just every 15 seconds, just resetting the user's like attention span so that they keep watching. And I know my demographic is going to be all of Connecticut, so just the video name and title alone, people are going to want to watch it because they've never seen something like it. So the main thing you really want to accomplish is just making it your own, but obviously there's a lot of styles that went into this video, just all the people that I look up to. So we have like Sam Colder, obviously, with like the zooms. We have Taylor Cut, which he does a lot of the close-up macro shots that just look really artistic, and there's a lot of bokeh in the background. Rory Kramer does like the push and pull speed ramps. He does a little more of like whipping with the camera, which I'll show in a few other videos coming up. Just a lot of inspiration from all my favorite people, and then along with that is just adding your own little flavor to it. Like, so my own flavor was doing like that kind of pull out effect, and so it was just like a lot of combination of just different people, different styles. But I mean, the whole video, it's really easy to do, but the way you want to film it is key, because showing more clips that are close up like this with good sound design, you're gonna get a lot more out of it than showing a full shot. And like a full shot where it's just everything's in focus doesn't look that cool, because it's just like a pan and blah blah blah. You want to make sure you're getting a lot of just back and forth between close-up shots like this and then big drone shots, or shots like this where it's still like everything's in the background focused, but the only thing that's out of focus is that plant, so it's making that cool kind of just blur effect. And it's just little details like that that you want to make sure that you're adding into every shot that makes it look unique and cool. So this is the first part of the Connecticut video. There's probably a lot more I could have gone over, but some of that is like sound design, and I'll be making a video on how to do sound design and how to get all the best custom sounds and where to find them. Another video I'll do on color correcting and what my process is to color correcting, whether it's using LUTs or just manually color correcting. Stay tuned for the next video. Please subscribe, and see you next time.